Hello and welcome to my video game watch guide, where I will be talking about my favourite features of a watch that I would wear for gaming. I've never really seen a video like this before, but if you are a gamer, console gamer, PC gamer, yes, there are ways of looking at the time while you're gaming, pausing the game or go into the menu. Some games even have the time embedded in them, such as Gran Turismo, for instance. But I thought I'd make this video just touching upon what are my go-to features of wearing a watch when gaming, so I can quickly look at the time in any light situation, it be reliable. And I guess the main features that a watch to wear while gaming has to have is comfortability. So it has to be comfortable while you're wearing it. Shouldn't really be too heavy. I would say about 100 grams or just below 100 grams is a sweet spot. Of course, there are plenty of watches that are resin or plastic that are, 40, 50 grams, even less. The legibility. So for me, I find digital watches much quicker and easier to read. And I'll also couple in with that legibility, not only the size of the digits, but the display type, whether it's LCD or OLED, whether it's a negative display. It has to have a light, or the digits themselves need to light up. Most of the time I game in a darkened area or at night, so there needs to be some kind of light to the watch, and it has to be easy to operate and not take yourself too much out of the action. And then there are other features such as accuracy. Water resistance isn't a big thing, and neither are some of the functions, although you might look at watches that have like stopwatches and things like that. So I'll go through some that I wouldn't necessarily gravitate towards, and I'll go through some that are my go-to when I'm gaming. So firstly, the watches I probably would steer away from while gaming are the ones that aren't that legible. So I can't look at these watches quickly and read the time straight away, especially in a darkened room. So they would be my kind of art watches, like the Mr. Jones watch. Great watch as a fashion watch and out and about, and great to go with like an outfit and things. But in terms of like glancing at it quickly in a darkened room to check the time while you're gaming in between matches or whenever, it's not going to be fit for purpose in that scenario. Much like it wouldn't be fit for purpose if I went diving with it. It's only 50 meters water resistant. It is an automatic watch, so for a gaming session I wouldn't be able to just pick this up and put it on. I'd have to pick it up, set the time, put it on, and even then during the course of the gaming wouldn't be able to rely on it. But it is comfortable, so there's that. So that's one that I probably wouldn't pick. I'm going to put the ones to the left that I wouldn't pick. Automatic watches, this Seiko Monster is very comfortable. It's a bit heavy with the metal bracelet on, but with the rubber strap it's manageable. It's breathable-ish, but it is overkill for gaming. The lume is good, as you'd expect for a Seiko, but again, it's not that eligible later in those gaming sessions, like if you're up 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning or whatnot. So I probably would avoid analog watches altogether. And again, I do find like stopwatches and timers and things quite an important feature too. So I probably would put that one over there too. Along with those watches that aren't that legible in darkened areas, I'd also put the G-Shock or Casio in that category as well. Analog watch, yes, it's got a bit of a digital display, but that's going to be hard to read in a darkened area. Only the hands loom up, so again, accuracy at a glance, and the length of the loom isn't good. It does have a light, but they still haven't incorporated the auto light function on these yet. Even if they did, you'd still be having to sort of squint at that small box to see the LCD or even the hands. So again, unfortunately, nice light watch. It's a classic at this point now, but again, I'd put that over to the left side. And then we get into digital watches. I would put like I know this isn't the F91, but I would put the F91 over to the left side. Yes, it's a light watch and it's got a digital display and it's very legible because it's, you know, quite crisp digits, but it's got a terrible, absolutely terrible light. It doesn't auto light up. So this would be good for sort of daytime gaming and things. For the majority of the time, again, that wouldn't be fit for the sort of evening main time that you would game. Likewise, I'd put the A168 over there again. The backlight is lovely, don't get me wrong, but the light is not automatic, but it is quite comfortable and still quite light. So again, that would go over the left side. And I guess along with Mr. Jones watches, like any kind of art watches like this, no luminescent. Yeah, it's quartz, so it's still quite accurate. And quartz watches you can obviously pick up and put them on. You don't need to wind them up or anything. But again, in terms of legibility, not the best in darkened areas. So now we come on to my top picks for gaming watches. So I know that I did say legibility is a key feature in a watch to wear for gaming. And this G-Shock TVB definitely breaks the mold in that regard. It has a negative display, and I did say try and avoid them. But the negative display is probably the best that G-Shock can do until you go into the MIP displays. It is the STN or super twisted pneumatic display. And the way I see it is this watch is very light. It's under 100 grams because it's titanium. So if you could pick up a G-Shock titanium, it's not going to be the best for sort of glancing at the time. But if you are going to be activating the light anyway on a normal LCD, because you are in a proper dark room, it's going to be legible anyway. So the negative display is kind of superseded by you activating the light, whether you've got one of these or you've got a positive display. You're going to be activating that light anyway to see either of those two display types. So this one kind of forfeits the legibility of a positive display with its weight. So this watch I've worn quite a bit for gaming, and it is, I say heavy, it's about 150 grams or so. It's definitely more legible at a glance, even in low light conditions. But in complete darkness, you're still going to have to activate that light. So yeah, it's a pro and con for me with these two. Do I want to wear a lighter watch that isn't as legible in low light, but activate the light anyway? Or do I wear a 50% heavier watch, but have a slightly better legibility? So these two, yeah, are usually my go-to, and I'm willing to forgive like the weight of this one for the added bonus. So those two are go-to watches for gaming. If we keep on G-Shock for a moment, the 6900 also is. It hasn't got the bright white LED as the other two, but it does have the electroluminescence. The digits are smaller though, but it's quite comfortable, it's lightweight, it is a bit big compared to the other two, but again, that's another good choice. If you didn't really like the look of the 6900, like the 90s look, you can always go for the 80s look and go for a 5600. I've got the sort of stealth wealth one here on the left, which has the full metal case, or you know, your standard one, or your standard 5600. Now all of these five are solar powered, and the metal ones have the Bluetooth sync and the multiband 6, and these three have the multiband 6. So that's another thing I look for in a gaming watch, is that I can just pick up and forget. So I'll pick it up, the time is always right. I just tilt my wrist to activate the time, so I don't even need to, you know, take my hands off the controller to see it, and they're legible. So they're the big features that I look for in the gaming watch. So yeah, you can opt for those, and I think That's important, to pick up a watch that's accurate, that you can see in low light conditions, and that doesn't weigh you down too much. It's comfortable for wearing for long periods of time. Now, the final watch I would probably say is my Apple Watch Ultra. Now, it does last over 2 days on the charge, so again, if you didn't want to wear it asleep to do your sleep tracking and you just switched it off, it's probably last you 3 or 4 gaming nights. It is comfortable. This is one of the most comfortable watch bands I've ever worn. It's elasticated and hook and loop, or Velcro as we call it. It's the waterproof. On night mode, the time goes to all red, which is much kinder on your eyes at that point. The display is very big. The only downside I would say, if any, is of course you have to charge it every 2 or 3 days. And if you're using it for other activities like your gym, your swim, you know, you might be depleting that battery through the day, but then you might want to wear it, you know, for a gaming session or whatnot. Again, it is always accurate, because if you've got your phone anywhere near you, it's going to be syncing up to that. So other than the battery side of things, it's another one of those watches that's comfortable to wear, high legibility, and you can just put it on, forget about it while you're gaming. So there you go. I hope this video has helped somewhat. Be interesting to find out what you guys wear. I didn't really think it was a thing until I have had a few gaming sessions where I've been caught short, or I've had to pause the game and look at the time on the console. Please do put what you wear while gaming for heavy sessions. Be very interesting to find out. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.